See you, TMG.
And that's what made it difficult. But yeah, separately, I feel AJ needs to make some wholesale changes.
You need to get a new coach.
He needs to get a new head coach. Because I think Robert Cracker's taking as far as he can take him.
But he's loyal to his guys.
I was speaking to my brother as well. There's a time and place. So there's a time when it comes where you need to make harsh, crucial decisions. And I was speaking to my friend as well, shout out KB. I mean, it's not necessarily personal as you don't like the person, but
it's just for the betterment of his career.
For the betterment of yourself and your career. I mean, sometimes you have to leave people behind that are not on the same shit as you, and that's just life. No walks of life. That's just it.
I don't think it's about. It's about growth now. Yeah. Do you know what happens when you hear the same voice over and over again? It becomes stale.
Mundane.
It becomes stale and mundane. You're not improving and you're not learning. Sometimes you need a fresh voice in your camp. Fresh way of doing stuff to revibrate, to like make you vibrant, to revise yourself like from the fresh. Some team that it just has to happen sometimes. You can't hear the same voice over and over again because it loses its effect.
They lose the sway they have on you.
It's like when your mum, if your mum's telling you to do a task and you're just being up with it, like what's the plate? Eventually you're not even hearing the what's the plate. You're just like, why is she nagging?
Yeah.
You won't even do the task.
That's the thing, I mean, because it's been twice now, AJ's been in crisis mode.
But he's going to be loyal to him because he got him out the Ruiz fight and he won. Not that was not a convincing win. I think that was an awful fight. I'm not going to say the best version of AJ was pre-Ruiz. That's the best.
I should tell her like this. There's 3 times AJ's been in crisis mode and only once he's got out of it.
What's the best?
That was against Klitschko when he got knocked down.
Knocked down. Klitschko was his best fight.
Oh, I didn't again. Klitschko was his best fight, but Klitschko at the end of the day was past his prime. If that was prime Klitschko, AJ doesn't win that fight. If that happens, Klitschko doesn't win the fight. When Klitschko knocks him down, AJ doesn't win the fight. But the 2 times since then, he's been in crisis mode. Ruiz,
he got out of it though.
He didn't get out. The first time.
Well, he lost the fight.
He lost the first fight, and now Usyk, the first Usyk fight, he lost it.
Usyk part 2. What's gonna happen?
And I feel that the trainers, or the head trainer Robert Kraken, they can't get to AJ to make him realize and wake up and to make changes within the fight within crisis point. When he reaches crisis point, they're not reaching out to not be able to make the difference. For example, because from what I see from Robert Kraken, he's always like very calm, composed, talks to him in a calm manner. For the most part, that works. But the time and place where you need to change it up, you need to change the tone. You need to tell him the real deal. You need to tell him the real spill. If that means you have to scream in his face, you have to scream in his face. And I don't see Robert Kraken do that. He doesn't have that change in tone in order to still get AJ's attention. And in crisis mode, that's what needed to happen and it hasn't happened. And also, for them to even allow this game plan to be the game plan is pathetic.
Why was that the game plan in the first place?
I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know how they thought that was the game plan.
Well, usually they say, I saw something today where it was like, when he felt Josh's power, he said in that fight, Josh's power was making him wince. Yeah. But he said there was no follow-up. Like, it was just...
I haven't seen that, but I'm not surprised. I mean, Joshua has great... I said this before. He has more power than Wilder. He has
power of both arms.
Yeah, but collectively, more power as a whole, not just the one punch. He has more power than everyone in the division, in my opinion.
Power of both hands.
But in that fight, he wasn't following up. I mean,
he loses. The thing is, I think, do you know what that fight tells me? I think like Joshua will change his style. He's gonna fight the fight of his opponent, not his fight. Unless the guy's really poor, like Pulev. But like when he's fighting someone that he does, like he kind of respects or he has fair, he starts fighting there. That's why I said if he fights Wilder, which probably will happen, it's most likely thing to happen now.
If Wilder loses, he'll fight Wilder.
Yeah. If Wilder loses, he's fighting Joshua. If that happens, that is gonna be a proper dogfight.
Bro, there's gonna be a dogfight in the press conference. I mean, I'd love to see those 2 guys in the same press conference just talking.
And that's not going to be a pally thing. You will see a real, authentic Joshua.
The real AJ will come out because, the corporate AJ will be put to the back burner, put on the back burner because it would have been abused and cursed. But yeah, back to the training point. I mean, he's got to replace Robert Kraken. The question is, who's going to get in to replace him with?
He's got America.
Yes, that's my line of thought. I mean, there's a few guys I saw.
Go Crank.
They can't go Crank. Freeze really don't. There's Derek James. Errol Spence's trainer and also one of the Charlie Brothers' trainer. I don't know if he has much experience with heavyweights, but he's a very good trainer. Virgil Hunter.
You need to go with someone that's a heavyweight Expert.
Virgil Hunter. I can't remember any heavyweights he's trained, but he trained Andre Ward. He trained Braxy now. I believe he trained Emmy Khan in phases. Abel Sanchez, Mexican American trainer, trained Golovkin for many years. You could say Freddie Roach, but Freddie Roach, I think he's passing.
I think AJ's loyal to the UK, so there's no way that.
No, he's too comfortable. I mean, yeah, sometimes for progression and growth, you have to be uncomfortable. That's why you have to make uncomfortable decisions and changes, which need to be made.
So what? You don't think AJ could benefit from going to Punk?
He can, but the thing is there. Fury's already there.
Oh yeah, true.
You know what I mean? Well, unless there's another Kronk trainer, but obviously, the late great Emmanuel is no longer with us. So you can't use him. You can't use his, I think, nephew, which is Javon Sugarhill, which is what Figgy's using Fury. So I don't know who else is really did it. Maybe someone, but they can't. They can't have the same training camp. That makes sense. But flipping, boy.
Wait. Now that this has happened, like, what do you like? If he was to fight for you, how?
So before I touch on that, I remember my point now. His trainers, like I said, they're not real for me. Because in the fight, when I was watching the rematch, the replay earlier on today, I was hearing the camp saying, beautiful AJ. And at least 80% of the time, it wasn't beautiful. It was nonsense they were praising him for. That's what I'm saying. They don't tell him the real stuff. There's two examples I'll use of real people telling you real shit in order to get you to fucking wake up. You look up when Tank's last fight, I can't remember the guy for his name, when he went up in weight. Floyd Mayweather told him. Floyd was not even his trainer, but he's around the camp in it. It was just inside, just the closest. He had a ringside seat. So
was it Santa Cruz as well?
No, it wasn't Santa Cruz. The one after him, I forgot his name. It was ringside, and he could obviously right next to the ring. And he said to him, I think around the 10th or 11th round, he said, "Yo, you are down on a scorecard. You need to knock him out." What did Devontae Tank do when I knocked him out? That resonated with him. Ron McCracken can't resonate with AJ when it gets to crisis point. Because that was a crisis point for Tank, because if he didn't dock him out, he would have lost. Second one, example, 81, I believe. Sugar Ray Leonard, one of the greatest to ever do it, fought Tommy the Hitman Hearns, which is a nickname I feel, like I said, fingers still. He was again down on the scorecards, Sugar Ray Leonard was. I believe between round 12 and round 13, in the corner, Angelo Dundee, the late great Angelo Dundee, one of the greatest trainers to ever do it, he said to him, "You're blowing it, son. You're blowing it, son." Have you heard that? You probably have heard that. And basically, that hit home. He flipped a switch in Sugar Ray Leonard's head. And the rest is history. Sugar Ray Leonard went on to knock him out because he knew that's what was required to do. I don't see Ron McCracken being able to resonate with AJ in that manner when it reaches crisis point.
Down on the scorecard, low.
I mean, but yeah, so what's your question about Fury?
What do you think AJ has any chance?
He has a chance. He's heavyweight boxing every day.
I think this kind of cemented that Fury probably is the best in the division.
Oh, right enough. 100% Fury is the best. Even when AJ wins the rematch at Usyk, AJ will need to beat Fury for me to say AJ is better than Fury. Because at the end of the day, I don't know what AJ is going to turn up. But against Fury, I like to think AJ will give it his all because he wouldn't be doing the pally stuff. I mean, unless Fury...
But I feel
unless Fury does some weird man games and then to be his friend, because that's one of the blueprints to be AJ. Pretend to be his friends and you dupe him.
Wait, the funny thing is, why I think Fury's going to win is that I think Fury can fight so many different styles.
Of course.
And he can change his game within the fight.
Yeah.
That's what AJ... I don't think AJ can do that.
You can't
I think AJ only... He comes in the fight, he fights one way.
You can't do it nowhere nearly as good as Fury. That's why I give Fury the edge. I mean...
It's like Fury. Fury is a kind of like a guy, yeah. It's weird, because Fury can get hit, and then all of a sudden, okay, I got hit. But then he would try a new way. Like, in the Wilder first fight, he's out of shape. He's out of shape. He comes in there, he's playing out of range, and he's beating Wilder.
Yeah.
He's beating him. And then, obviously, Wilder got the knockout. But after the Wilder knockout, he changed his style, and he unlocked something that he knew. If he closes the space, Wilder can't do anything.
Yeah.
And he knew, and he posts that information. He didn't download any information. When he hit me hard in the 6th round, and he started to make an impact on music, did Joshua download any information from that?
Nowhere near enough, no.
He didn't. In a boxing fight, you need to download information. You need to see, oh, this worked.
You need to make adjustments.
Adjustments. This from that. He didn't do it.
That's one of the key facts of fighting. Key elements of sports: basketball, football, boxing, MMA. Within the game, within the fight, within the series, whatever you call it, you need to make adjustments. The team that make the best more the teams that more often than not win. AJ made next to no adjustments. Usyk didn't really need to make adjustments because AJ wasn't really doing that much. But His second win came in the championship rounds. Was able to confirm the victory for himself. I mean, but yeah, more on Usyk. Maybe Usyk is just that good.
It's extremely good.
That's also one of the things my thoughts. Even I thought AJ could give a much better fight, but maybe Usyk is just that good.
I was obviously before the fight, I was seeing some comments. They were saying like one time he was sparring with one of the Klitschko brothers, and something they're going into like maybe a round, and then the Klitschko brothers told the reporters to get out the gym. Apparently Usyk was giving him a beatdown. The movement, the feet, like all the stories. Even people like I think Dave Allen was saying something about Usyk, like, oh, he was sparring, he gave him a roll, something like that, to Usyk, and like kind of turned it on, and then he saw Usyk turn it on, and he was like, wow, he didn't know that Usyk could get to this level. And when I was reading it, at first I just thought it was just, fight speak, people just fake, just giving him that praise, but then actually going into that fight and seeing how he fought Joshua, he was tactical masterclass, the feet, the hands, the boxing, knowing when to go attack, knowing when to defend, controlling the ring. It was a masterful performance. And the level of control he had in that fight, you would never believe that he was a small fighter. You wouldn't believe it is the less powerful fighter. He has so much control.
I mean, Usyk, it was also a key element of the fight. He's able to change the tempo, go up another gear, slow it down, control the tempo, go quicker, raise the pace of the fight. AJ complained about the pace of the fight. I mean, that's what Usyk does, which is why you need to slow him down. I mean, but Usyk, like I said, in the final championship rounds, he changed the pace of the fight. He went up another gear and another gear.
And AJ couldn't. How was Usyk? Usyk was getting stronger.
Because his fitness levels are elite.
It doesn't make sense because just you're the heavier fight. You should have been giving him enough punches that by round 9 he's got nothing left because you've given him body blows. You tired him out. You've been laying your body on him. Yeah. You didn't even grapple. Did he grapple that? How many times did he clench?
Barely. I mean, yeah. If they've done the, to be fair, I'll give credit to his camp, the trainers, even though I've criticised them heavily. The one thing I did hear from them on the replay, which obviously I didn't hear in the ring, also when I was at the fight, is that they were telling him to finish his combinations to the body. And I believe it was round 5 or 6 where he actually did that. And they were telling him to hold him a few times, so that must have been part of the game plan. But yeah, Usyk, I mean, his fitness levels are insane. I mean, he's a beast. Physically, mentally, he can keep going on and on.
Even telling him that, his trainers told him not to knock him out. Can you imagine?
So I don't read much into that. I think that's probably a translation. What's the word? Yeah, it's a translation error there. Basically, what I interpret that as in, don't go for the knockout, because if you go for the knockout, you leave yourself open. Not actually, just don't knock him out. Actually,
if he's on the TV, Josh's leg was stiff. He was basically done. Like mid 11th round, he was basically done.
Well, there's rumours that the fight got called off early. They rang the bell early, the 12th.
Huh?
Simon. I didn't see it because obviously I was at the fight, but I have to watch it on TV.
I think no, it was set for 3 minutes.
No, that's what I was saying. People are saying they rang the bell early to save AJ some.
His leg was so wobbly.
But I say AJ got wobbled multiple times and they were visible. Like he was actually stumbled.
He got cut to the eye, which I think kind of affected him. I mean that cut to the eye affected, but Usyk they both had cuts to the eye.
AJ had a mouse on his eye. Usyk had some cuts. I mean, when I saw Usyk's face after the fight, even from the stadium, I was thinking, wow, maybe AJ landed some more punches than I thought. And when looking back on it, he did. I mean, AJ landed...
He was landing punches. He was like, bull, it was getting him.
Yeah. But, I mean, yeah, Usyk has it all. I mean, there's no real weakness he has. Apart from people with size. Even,
he doesn't have power.
Well, going by what we saw...
It was a build-up. Yeah, it's not instant power. It's not knockout. Oh, wow. His combination.
Yeah, he doesn't have one punch power, but if he gets a few punches in, he has enough power to... You can't walk through his punches. I mean, that's the only weakness Floyd Mayweather had when he went up the
I think he can walk through a Usyk punch.
I'm not sure. But that's the only weakness Floyd Mayweather had when he went up the ranks, is that he lost his one punch power, especially when his hands got weaker. And so you couldn't just go boom and you're stunned and you're on the floor type of thing, like how wild it can. Fury doesn't have that type of power, AJ does, but...
Fury does not have one punch power.
But they have enough power to keep you honest.
Fury doesn't have enough power, but he'll barrage of punches.
And they have the quick hands. But yeah, Usyk, he's all-time great after this, because gold medalist, 2012. steep, deep amateur career, undisputed cruiserweight champion, ununified heavyweight champion. He's now pound for pound second.
And Canelo.
Behind Canelo, I mean,
I think Fury should be ahead of him still.
nah, cause the thing is, Usyk's, like I said, undisputed cruiserweight, and now he's unified heavyweight.
Oh yeah.
And he's so.
Hey, but I saw some people were saying that Fury might lose to Usyk because something about Fury's hardest fight being against someone that was a former cruiserweight. Him saying Steve Cunningham was his hardest fight.
Yeah, but I was ages ago. I mean, it could be the case, but maybe the speed, maybe the pace. Maybe Fury might struggle to deal with the pace that Usyk may set.
But Fury's gonna keep him at length. Fury's not gonna dumb. I think it's the smartest fight. He's gonna keep Usyk at length.
It's hard to keep someone like Usyk. It's hard to keep someone like Usyk and Canelo at length.
Fury's gonna control the middle of the ring.
Fury
is one of the best fighters. It's not like Fury's got.
What I would say, Fury will definitely go to the body more. But when you come against guys like Mayweather, Usyk, and also Canelo as well, specifically Mayweather and Usyk, because those guys, their footwork is immense.
What, but are you saying Fury's is not?
No, but it's hard to keep those guys at length because their footwork is.
I think Fury, just because he's 6'10" doesn't mean that.
No, I'm not saying his footwork's not bad, but to keep someone at length, if their footwork is immense, their hand speed is immense, but most importantly, their head movement is immense, and they're always moving. They're always a moving target. It'll be hard for you to jab them because you become reluctant to jab them as much because you can get countered from their jabs.
Have you seen that much from Fury's game? Because every time Fury's fought much smaller fighters with power. True.
They don't have the skills.
They don't have the skills. But Fury's fought guys with knockout power. Yeah, guys that good, and he's comfortably kept them at bay. And his footwork is very good.
Footwork is good, but if like I said, if those other guys have elite footwork, elite head movement, elite hand speed, doesn't matter.
I expect obviously Usyk will close the distance.
They'll close the gap down, and it's hard to keep them.
Fury controls fights much better.
Fury control the fight much better than AJ, but to keep them at length for the whole fight or for the majority of the fight is a lot. It's very hard to do against those guys because they have so many tools and attributes in those elements in those categories which I mentioned. It's very hard to keep them at length. Because you become reluctant to jab. Canelo's footwork may not be as good as those two, but because I have to Callum Smith, because Canelo's head movement is so good, and his hand speed is quick as well, and upper waist movement is quick. If you jab, if you throw a lazy jab, you're getting countered. And those guys, they're counter punchers. And Canelo, especially Canelo and Usyk, they counter with power. That, you know, I mean, when they counter punch, they could most likely put you in a state.
Yeah, Canelo punched up Callum Smith, man. Now Callum Smith has to go up a level, like heavyweight. He knocked that guy out though. Were you there for that?
I was there for that. Yeah, okay. We watched pretty much all the prelims.
Was it a scene?
It was crazy. I mean, I hope that guy as well. I mean, the guys come off on a stretcher. I mean,
I didn't know Callum Smith had that kind of power.
I mean, he has good power, but I don't think that guy was a guy like that. But you know, Callum Smith has good power. But AJ.
Talk about something.
What? Oh yeah, he lost that fight.
But he won.
There's boxing corruption, I like.
How bad was how bad did you lose?
Well, he had him 6 rounds. I think he lost at least 4 or 5. I don't know. There's no way you could give it to Cabohan.